You need to take the courage to be charming, because truth be told, you already have it in you. You already possess that ability. There is an authentic charisma that waits in there, inside of you, to be unleashed. And it keeps knocking at your door all the time, but you've been avoiding it for so long. But trust me, it's time to wake up. It's time to give some attention to it and to stop disregarding your authenticity. Most people live their lives guided by religiously obeying this lie. They've been convinced by their early childhood experiences that they are not good enough, that they need more and more and more. And only after achieving more, then and only then will they feel good enough within. So they live their lives in compulsion. And probably so do you if you relate to this. And there is no shame in that. I've been like that myself. I've been through this and I've tried filling that void with all sorts of useless pursuits like improving my social skills and my charisma levels, being more funny, all of these things, gaining new friendships, creating new bonds, entering new groups of friends. But everything that I was chasing came down to me feeling good enough. Me feeling like I'm worthy. Worthy of what? Worthy of approval, appreciation, bonding with people. I just didn't trust myself to be able to do that. To be able to be social, right? I don't know, I was just an introvert. I was wearing this badge of honor of being an introvert, a very logical person, and just not being able to interact and to engage in conversations as easily as extroverts do. So I ended up pedestalizing extroverts and idolizing them. And you probably do as well. You kinda envy them for being able to have it so easily socially. You'd like to be like that yourself. But as I said in the beginning, you can already do that. You don't need to learn anything new. What you need to do is unlearn, unteach yourself out of this bad habit of being so anxious and insecure. Because truthfully, you have no reason to feel like that. And you probably label yourself as a logical person as well. I know it's a thing to be proud of when you are able to wear this badge of honor, but I would say that that's coping. David Hume used to believe that we are all guided by our feelings and that this argument of, oh, I'm a logical person, that's just coping. And I kind of tend to believe that as well, because even if you're taking the most logical decisions day in, day out, you are still guided by your feelings. Even if you delay gratification, you are still guided by the feelings that you desire in the future. So we are basically sentimental beings as much as we want to avoid that truth. That's the case. So we have to accept it and take leverage of it. Because when we manage to understand our feelings and our craving for feeling in a certain way, we realize that our social pursuits are all about feeling good enough within. We search and seek validation on the outside just to feel good enough within. But the illusion here is that we are already good enough within. You are already good enough. Marcus Aurelius used to question this of the quote he used, I believe, was something like, does an emerald lose its value if it is not praised? And in the same way, do you lose your value unless you get the validation from the outside? You kept believing this lie all the time. You kept living into this trance. But it's not true. None of it is true. You don't need to gain more experience socially, or perhaps you do in the better way, but you don't need to gain these social skills and these charisma tips and tricks. You don't need to be more funny. You don't need to, I don't know, prioritize the other person's interests more. What you need to do is lower your standards. Not even lower your standards, but destroy your standards and unleash what's in there, what's waiting to come outside. It's knocking at your door consistently and you keep stuffing it down all the time. It's brutal, but this is the real you. Because this is you when you came into the world. You were like this, you did have that authentic charisma. You know, people often say that babies are very charismatic because babies are very unfiltered. So being unfiltered equals charisma to some extent, doesn't it? Well, then why do we try to play up to a certain character, right? We like to believe that there is this set of behaviors that we can employ all the time, and when we manage to step into this persona, then we will be charismatic, then we will be able to fill this void. But this void, there is no void. That's the truth. There is absolutely no void in there. It's just an illusion, a lie that we kept believing. There is no void, and you are already charismatic. You should stop living into this bad dream, into this nightmare where you overthink all the time. You hear those voices just filtering all of your thoughts before saying them, before they allow you to say what's socially acceptable enough. Blending in, being an NPC. You are meant to have more of a personality, to be more expressive, to take the courage to disrupt the patterns of the conversations if you feel like it, to take the courage to express your real opinions about certain situations. So who are you obeying right now? Who convinced you that you are not good enough, that these things are not for you? Because it's a shame to keep living your life like this. There are so many opportunities of fantastic friendships that just go past you and you are unable to grasp them because they are not for you now. They are for the real you, but they are not for the shield you put up. Because when you have this shield of being an invisible person, of blending in, of being acceptable, playing life to not lose, which is, okay, I don't want to be judged, I don't want to be rejected, in contrast to playing life to win, where you take more risks, where you say jokes perhaps that are not that socially acceptable, maybe it's dark humor, maybe it's, all of these things that people might not agree with. When you avoid this, the real you, the you that plays to win, that takes risks, and you step into this persona that just wants to not be judged, the opportunities can't get to you because you have this shield on. And if you want to take these opportunities, to have these nice friendships and bonds, truthfully, you need to take some risks. You need to accept the fact that you might be rejected. And to realize that even if you are rejected, what's the worst thing that could happen? Nothing. You will just feel a bit of anxiety in the moment. You will feel some negative emotions in the moment. But if you take the time to feel them properly, instead of just running away from them and trying to numb yourself with content consumption, then they just dissipate and you are free to go on, to improve your life even more and to live it more authentically, more meaningful to you. So you see, living life and interacting with people is so simple. You don't even realize it. And when you are brainwashed by your early childhood experiences into really believing that you are not good enough, it's impossible for you to see how simple all of these things are. But you have proof. You do have proof that around the people that you deem as being not as cool as you, everything is easy. You don't have to play up to a certain character. You can just be yourself and all is good. But around the people that you deem as being higher status, your anxiety kicks in and takes over. But you see it in people around you as well. All the extroverts you have in mind that are just able to have such a nice social experience without any constraints, without feeling bad and anxious like you. everything seems easy for them because truthfully everything is easy for them because they are not performing, they're just being. So it's time for you to stop thinking that you need to employ certain social skills in order to be like them, because that's not the truth. You need to be who you feel like being. You need to be grounded in your authenticity. You need to take the courage to be you. And that's when your social experiences will look like the social experiences of the people that are naturally extroverted look like. And even if you're an introvert, you can have so much fun socially. You can feel so good. And that's the life you're meant to live in the first place. And that's what I wish for you truly.